this next part, we just got done talking about scientific notation and standard form. Now we're going to practice going from standard form to scientific and from scientific back to standard. So I actually want to start with scientific and back to standard because we just talked about it up here. So again, if you see a positive number, 4, so a positive exponent, we're going to get a large number, we're going to move to the right. So we're going to take 8.8, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to add my zeros. So this is really 8.8 times 10 to the 4th is really 88,000. Now I would like for you, if you're drawing the loops, then to rewrite it to make it kind of a clean copy, and then count back 1, 2, 3, put your comma where they need to go so that it's appropriate. Number 7, I'm going to skip to that one. This is 3.2 times 10 to the 12th, so I need to move 12 to the right. So we're going to do, now if I move 12 to the right, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So my first blank, I don't want to draw all these loops. I already did that up here. So because my first loop has a number in it, I'm only going to add 11 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then I'm going to count back 3 and do my commas. 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. There we go. So this is scientific and this is standard form. Now, keep in mind when we have negative exponents, we're going to be moving to the left. So we need to go 7.3 left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to add in some zeros. 2, 3, 4. And this is standard form. Now number 8, some of you may be able to just visualize this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks like I'm going to have 3 zeros right here. So 1, 2, 3, because that first loop had a 5 in it. So this is scientific and this is standard. Now to go the other way, we want our number in scientific notation, the first number has to be a decimal or between 1 and 10. So kind of the trick is it always goes between the first 2 numbers. So your decimal is always going to go between the first 2 non-zero numbers. So I will write this as 2.34 times 10 to the, now this is where you have to count your loops. So remember, if you have a large number, you're going to the right. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's going to be to the power of 8. 2.34 times 10 to the 8th. Now notice I only had 6 zeros because this time 2 of the numbers took up my first 2 loops. So just keep that in mind. It's not always how many zeros, it's how many places you're moving. Number 3, again, these are really big numbers. So large numbers, we're going to move to the right. So our decimal goes here. So we're going to have 2.67 times 10 to the, then count your loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, times 10 to the 5th. Now, when you have really little numbers, like number 2 and number 4, that's when this is going to be a small number. We're moving to the left. And just be careful, you have to put your exponent as a negative. So again, we want to put our new decimal here. So scientific, your first number has to be between 1 and 10. So we're going to put this right between the 6 and the 3 to make it 6.3. But I'm moving to the left, which is making the small number. So don't forget it's going to be times 10 to the negative. Something's going to be to the negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the negative 5th. And the last one, we're going to put our decimal between the 3 and the 2. Now we don't want to put it between the 2 and the 5 because that would be 32.5, and our rule is it has to be bigger than 1 but smaller than 10. So it always goes between the first 2 non-zero digits. So we have 3.25 times 10 to the negative, because I'm going to move left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's just practicing going from standard to scientific and scientific back to standard.